Good afternoon. I'm so pleased to be able to address you today, albeit virtually, for the launch of this AONTAS Community Education in a Time of COVID-19 research report. Hopefully it's not going to be too much longer before we'll be able to attend these events in person again. I'd like to begin by sincerely thanking Niamh O'Reilly for the invitation to address this event today and all the team at AONTAS for arranging this event. I'd also like to thank Tara Farrow for chairing today's panel discussion and thank all of you who will be taking part in those discussions. Thank you also to every one of you on the AONTAS research team who've carried out the research, and to Eve and Akasajo for presenting us with the findings today. Finally, my thanks must also be extended to all those 76 community organisations who engage with roughly 15,000 learners right across our country, who participated in this research. You gave up your time, you shared your experiences and your understanding of community education from the ground up. This is so vital and I really appreciate it. This report and the research project upon which it's based is truly novel. For the first time, AONTAS has implemented a broad-scale, mixed-method research project to understand who engages in community education, what courses are provided, and critically, how community education effectively supports people to fulfil their potential. This makes this the first ever census of community education in Ireland. That alone makes the research and report significant. However, both have of course taken on an even greater importance as they try to capture the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic on the sector and on some of the most marginalised and hard to reach communities right across our country. Indeed, throughout the pandemic, AONTAS have shared the impact of COVID-19 and offered solutions to my department, including chairing the Mitigating Against Educational Disadvantage Working Group, and they've worked always with a particular focus on marginalised learners. Their report offers a vital evidence base to inform the future direction of community education. The picture of community education that emerges from this report is one of dynamism in responding to learners, inclusiveness in terms of learner cohort, and challenges related to funding. More than anything, it is so clear that community education improves lives. Clearly, there are also some difficulties. Our sense of community has been particularly challenged over the last 16 months. Adult education providers have had to adapt their way of teaching in order to adapt to our ever-changing environment. Over the course of the COVID-19 pandemic, vulnerable groups have experienced increased disadvantage. For example, those with lower levels of qualification are most likely to have lost their job as a result of COVID, or have poorer health, and indeed have fewer resources to engage in what is now a seismic shift to remote learning. Whilst the Mitigating Against Educational Disadvantage Fund has made a really positive impact on communities and it has allowed groups to respond to local need, this can't be once off. Much more work is clearly required in this area. In addition, given that the challenges impacting on learning are complex and are negatively impacted by poverty, by poor housing, by domestic violence, isolation, mental health issues, marginalisation and lack of essential supports, more grassroots research such as this project are required. Community education is vital to an inclusive recovery, particularly vital to supporting those who've been hardest hit by the pandemic. We strengthen our communities by including those from all parts of society, and particularly those who have suffered as a result of marginalisation. We must include those with disabilities and with additional needs, those with mental health challenges and those who are at risk. We have a responsibility to elevate and promote women in order to create a knock-on effect in the wider community. This report stands as a testament to the vibrancy of the community education sector in Ireland. It also constitutes a vital contribution to policy discussions on the future development of the sector as we emerge from the pandemic. So I want to congratulate all of you involved in this fine work and in bringing it all together. In closing, I want to take this opportunity to commend AONTAS on the important service that you provide in the promotion of the value and benefits of adult learning and in your advocacy work on behalf of the adult and community education sector. AONTAS has always ensured visibility for the adult learner and provides them with an opportunity to make their voices heard. Given the last 16 months or so, this service has been even more important. So thank you all. I want you to know that my department is a department for you. We're not just a department for universities, we're not just a department for school leavers. We are a department to make sure that every individual in Ireland can reach their full potential by accessing education in whatever manner or means works best for them. And community education has such a vital role to play in helping that happen, in helping transform the lives of individuals, of their families, of their communities. That's what the work you do is about. That is the difference you make. And I want to sincerely thank you for that. Thank you for the report and the research, and really wish you all the very best of luck with your discussions. Gurmina Magov.